All around the world, people start their day with a cup of coffee, sweet, strong, and tasty.
The drink is a staple, and each country has developed their own unique coffee and cafe culture.
Asia is no exception to the rule. Coffee has been evolving for hundreds of years in the region, and most countries have a very distinct variation of the famous drink.
From pour-over coffee enjoyed in traditional old-school cafes to iced coffee to cool down from the heat, each cup tells a story of tradition and history.
From Bangkok to Seoul, we're going on an adventure to discover Asia's coffee culture. Ho Chi Minh City, commonly known as Saigon, is the incredibly bustling center of Vietnam. It's one big beehive of people, bikes, street food, nightlife, and lots of coffee. Coffee is everywhere in Vietnam. You can see locals sipping their iconic drinks during the day, hot, iced, and flavored. There are two major coffee beans in the world, Arabica and Robusta. And Vietnam is the largest producer of Robusta beans. These beans contain much more caffeine and are often used alongside Arabica to create strong and flavorsome coffees. Baristas use unique Vietnamese fin filters and a very precise brewing process to create the beloved Vietnamese coffee. Rue Nam is a Vietnamese coffee brand, and it has a lot of spots open across the city. Rue Nam Do is a cafe restaurant, and it's pretty special because it's set up in an old French villa from 1891.
Hello, madam. Would you like to order?
Yes, please. Can I have a cafe?
Hot coffee, yeah.
Yes, and I also want to try the egg coffee.
Sure. Very good choice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Vietnamese coffee is brewed in a very time-specific process using a special Vietnamese fin filter. It starts with the equipment being rinsed and heated with hot water, after which coffee grounds are added and compressed softly using a pressed disc. Then the first batch of hot water is added. This creates a bloom which makes the brew more flavorful. Once the coffee has absorbed all the water, a second batch of hot water is added, and the fin is covered with a lid. Wait a few minutes, and you have a strong and flavorsome coffee that can be enjoyed on its own or can form the base for the famous iced version. This is definitely strong coffee, not for the faint-hearted. The flavor is quite woody and smoky, but surprisingly not very bitter. This coffee has been brewing for I think 5 to 7 minutes at this point, so I think that really helps take out all of the flavor and depth from the beans. I wouldn't necessarily drink this really quickly like an espresso, and I think that's how Vietnamese people do it too. They like to eat very quickly, but then take their time and enjoy their coffee over a couple of hours with some friends and with a good book. I think it's a perfect drink for that. Yeah, this is gonna wake you right up. The origin of the Vietnamese egg coffee is from northern Vietnam. It was created as a replacement for cappuccino. Back in the day, fresh milk is quite hard to come by. So what they found out is if you take an egg yolk and you whisk it up, it gives this really rich texture. And so when you mix it with coffee, it resembles cappuccino. And I wonder if this will actually taste like egg. It definitely doesn't taste like egg. It also doesn't taste like cappuccino either. I would say this is like a coffee custard, very rich and dense. So I really like it because I personally really love desserts, and this to me is like a dessert in a cup. And I would probably choose this over cappuccino myself.
Hong Kong is always bustling and has a huge breakfast culture. Every morning, you can find Hong Kongers flocking to Cha Chan Tang, Hong Kong cafes that serve the city's version of classic Western breakfast dishes. Imagine staples such as ham and egg sandwiches, macaroni soup, and plenty of different baked goods. The cafes serve classic filtered coffee and the iconic Hong Kong-style milk tea. But they also combine these two drinks into iced and hot Yuenyeung, a blend of coffee and milk tea.
Look at this place. Looks like we're taking a step back in time. So there are literally thousands of different Cha Chan Tang all over the city, and they each have their own character and specialities.
Yuenyeung and Yeungzau have been Hong Kong classics since the 1950s. Yuenyeung combines Hong Kong-style milk tea with coffee, and Yeungzau sweetens it up with the addition of condensed milk. Hong Kong's milk tea is made from Ceylon black tea, and gets a silky smooth texture and taste from a special filtering through a sackcloth bag, which really looks like a pair of stockings. The perfect Yuenyeung is made of 70% milk tea and 30% coffee, but you can always order it stronger if you prefer.
Well, this is really good. The very first thing you can taste is the smooth milk tea, and then you've got that hint of coffee that comes through it. But it's definitely silky smooth, subtly sweet, and still very coffee-like. I think you really do get the best of both worlds in this glass. So it is great if you cannot decide which one to take, or maybe you want slightly less strong coffee that wouldn't keep you up all night. Next, we have the Yeungzau. This is more like a treat. It has condensed milk in it, so it should be quite a bit sweeter than the one we just had before. I personally prefer this more because you instantly get hit with that iconic flavor from the condensed milk followed by the smoothness of the milk tea. So it's definitely a guilty pleasure, and that's why I really love it. Sweet toast dishes is such a big thing here in Hong Kong. It's almost like a must-have item in every Tang. So there's this famous Hong Kong-style French toast. They combine it with another signature Hong Kong flavor, black sesame, which is also my personal favorite. Here, they put it on top of the toast and drizzled it with more condensed milk. I bet it pairs well with the Yuenyeung. Let's try. That's definitely the best combo.
Seoul is a center of pop culture in Asia, and it's truly one of the world's 24-hour cities. You can find cafes, bars, and restaurants open till the early hours of the morning, and there is always something exciting happening. Keeping up with all the excitement requires a lot of energy, and maybe this is why the city is obsessed with iced Americanos. It's the nation's unofficial national drink, and it makes up the majority of all coffee sales. That's a lot of iced coffee. When ordering the drink, locals ask for an "ah," and the love for coffee is so strong that there is even a saying in Korean, "올주카," which means even when I freeze to death, iced Americano. Now that's dedication. You can get an iced Americano literally anywhere in Seoul. One of the interesting places is Seoul's vinyl cafes, and this one in Hipsungsu is really popular. There are a few of these vinyl cafes around Seoul, and they all work pretty much the same way. For your entrance fee, you get a drink and also unlimited access to this space. Each table will have a record player and headphones for you to enjoy, and you can pick any of these vinyls to listen to. We have some Dua Lipa, we have some K-pop, of course, but I'm going to go with some jazz. The iced Americano is a pretty simple drink to make. Fill a glass with ice, pour shots of espresso in, top it off with water, and ta-da, you're done. I've had a lot of Americanos in my life. The first thing that strikes me is how strong this is, and it makes sense that it needs to be strong because Koreans like to drink this and it powers them through the day. It's also really smooth and delicate as well. I feel like I can just drink this all day, almost like a coffee cocktail. So a lot of the cafes in Seoul, throughout the year, they like to swap out their drinks with different seasonal fruits. And I chose this one because I love strawberries. This one is really good. The strawberry flavor is so strong, it's smooth, it's milky. The rest of the taste, sorry, I got lost a little bit there. This is actually really good. It's almost like a mix of strawberry milk and strawberry smoothie. And for a strawberry lover like me, highly recommend. These vinyl cafes are just such a great way to lounge the day away, have some iced Americanos, enjoy your favorite tunes. So yeah, don't mind me.
Shenzhen is just a short hop away from Hong Kong by ferry, bus, or train. It's the home of technology in China, and is famous for its futuristic buildings. Coffee is a big deal in China's mainland, and lots of spots are experimenting with different and distinctly Chinese flavor profiles. This cafe in the Shekou district makes a special latte infused with sweet Chinese rice wine.
Found it. Shenzhen has lots of great cafes, and Blanche Coffee here in Seoul is a cool little spot that is doing something innovative. Their big focus is on drinks that are inspired by the ocean and Greek mythology. This comes together with some funky coffees and cocktails that you can't find elsewhere. 我想要一杯那个海王拿铁。
好的，建议你也可以试一下我们的海女拿铁，它里面有中医药材海神花的成分。
好，那我2杯都要吧。
好的，好的，好。
The Poseidon latte has sweet fermented rice wine in it. It's a popular dish in China called Yuenyeung and is made with sticky rice that is fermented with yeast. This also adds a little bit of alcohol to the drink, but don't worry, it's a very low percentage. There are lots of different versions of the dish throughout Asia, and people generally have it for dessert and for its warming properties, which makes it perfect for the colder months and is said to go well in a latte.
Wow. It's subtly sweet. The interesting thing is when I bring the cup up to my face, I kind of smell the air from the seaside. I believe that's because of the seaweed pieces on top of the cream. So I was told to give it a good mix. It is supposed to change the taste a little bit. You can definitely taste the presence of the rice wine. It's giving a very natural sweetness to the drink without the strong alcoholic flavor. And it blends in very well with the cereal aroma from the coffee bean. I really like it. Wow, this one is a bit coconutty. It blends very well with espresso. The unique thing about this drink is the blue jellies in it. It's actually made of a special kind of algae. So it is also being used in traditional Chinese medicine. We believe that this algae can help you cancel out the inner heat in your body so that your body will be in a more balanced state. So basically, you can drink coffee and you also feel better at the same time. What a win-win.
Singapore is one of the few city-states in the world, and its lively multiculturalism can be felt throughout. The country is known for its iconic harbour and delicious food, and as one of the busiest financial centres in the world, Singaporeans are always on the lookout for their next pick-me-up. Locals call coffee Kopi, and have created many different versions of the drink that you can customize by stringing together combinations of terms like O, Peng, Gao, Po, Siu Dai, Si, Dilo, and Gadai. Coffee can be enjoyed in kopitiams that allow for catch-ups and chats over a brew, but I like visiting hawker centres for my Kopi fix. Hawker centres are a huge part of Singaporean life. They're these large open areas filled with different hawkers, and each stall has their own specialty. This stall is famous for their coffee and the Singaporean breakfast trio. Kopi is traditionally made with Robusta beans that have been roasted with ingredients like margarine and sugar to reduce the bitterness. The ground beans are added to a special sock inside a Kopi pot. Hot water is added and the sock creates a perfectly clean filtered coffee after a few minutes of brewing. This brew is used as a base for the many different versions of Singaporean coffee. But for traditional Kopi, condensed milk is stirred in for the iconic creamy taste. This is definitely a hot, strong coffee. The flavor is very concentrated, it's very aromatic as well. I've always thought that Singaporean coffee has a very unique taste to it. Probably from the condensed milk and sugar combination. This almost has a bit more of a creaminess to it because of the condensed milk. On a day like this, sometimes locals like to order the iced version called Kopi Pang, but I like a hot drink in the morning. These two dishes form a very strong part of Singaporean coffee culture. The locals would order their breakfast, which is the kopi, and they would have it with kaya toast and eggs. Kaya toast is toasted bread with a lot of butter, and they have a very thick layer of coconut jam that they call kaya. You then have it with soft-boiled eggs. You add a bit of soy sauce and some pepper to add some umami flavor to it. Apparently, there's no right or wrong way of eating it, so I'm just gonna give it a go. I'm sorry, I don't know, I need to navigate this. You have the toastiness from the bread, you have the sweetness from the kaya, you also have the creaminess from the egg, the saltiness from the soy sauce, and somehow you put all of this together and it really works. I can see why this is a go-to breakfast for Singaporeans. It's simple, it's delicious, what's not to love?
The world flocks to Thailand for the amazing weather and gorgeous beaches, but I love going for the food and the coffee culture too, and Bangkok is one of the best spots to experience it. Thailand is generally quite hot, which is why everyone is always sipping iced drinks. The go-to is Thai iced milk tea, but my personal favorites are the equally great Thai iced coffees. Thailand's coffee culture is relatively new. The north of the country has been producing coffee beans for just over a century, but has quickly grown to one of Asia's top coffee producers. You can find all sorts of coffee in Thailand, but the famous ones are the Oliang, which is Thai black iced coffee with sugar, and Cafae, which adds condensed and evaporated milk.
Bangkok has so many hip cafes, but I always think that there's something special about getting a caffeine fix at these local spots. So you can find these tiny little coffee stalls all over Bangkok, and they serve your favorite Thai iced drink the traditional way, in a plastic bag. Sawadee.
These Thai iced coffee both use a coffee mixture that is made from the beans grown in northern Thailand, mixed with a blend of spices. In authentic spots like this, they still make the coffee the traditional way by using a large filter bag. Hot water is poured multiple times to extract the most flavor from the coffee, and this creates a very strong and bitter black brew. For the Oliang, a bit of sugar is added to take the edge off.
Oliang นะคะ
So the name Oliang comes from Teochew Chinese dialect, where O means black and Liang means cold. And it makes sense, right? Because it is in fact black iced coffee. Wow, it's actually quite strong. It is a very legitimate black coffee. What is interesting in this is the herbal taste that comes through. I mean, if you look at the bag, it looks like any regular iced black coffee, but there's actually so much more going on inside this bag. So I'd say it's a good choice for those who prefer a black coffee but also want to try something new, something interesting.
The less bitter Cafe is the preferred choice for many. This iced coffee uses a similar process as the Oliang, but adds a mixture of evaporated and condensed milk to sweeten the bitter taste of the coffee even more, all with a large portion of ice to cool you down.
So the name Cafae is in Thai instead of Chinese, and it simply means iced coffee. It's a lot sweeter than the Oliang that we just had, and with the addition of milk, it's actually more silky in the texture, and I really love that iconic flavor from the evaporated milk and condensed milk. I think what's also interesting is that both of the coffees kind of look like the coffees that you would have in Vietnam or maybe like the Yuenyeung from Hong Kong. Sometimes looks can be deceiving because they all actually taste very different, especially for these Thai coffees that have spices in it. So you can see there's actually a lot of diversity going on in the region. Out of these two coffees though, I gotta say I really like this Cafae. It's definitely the type of drink that you can have multiple of, but it's still quite strong. That bitter strong coffee flavor is just being masked by the milk, which makes it very tasty.
From Singapore to Ho Chi Minh City, we have had routes all over and explored the best of Asia's coffee culture. There's a world of flavors to discover.
We definitely got our caffeine fix and found out the differences and processes that make each country's iconic coffee so unique.
From Kopi in Singapore served with iconic breakfast dishes to super strong but delicious thin filter coffee in Vietnam.
And from a latte with Chinese rice wine in Shenzhen to the iconic Yuenyeung mix in Hong Kong. It's almost impossible to pick a favorite.
The baristas in Asia keep on innovating, and the arts of coffee keeps on evolving, creating flavors that bring us together one cup at a time.